to go. I'm just waiting for it to connect and do what it needs to do. All right, Facebook is a go-go. That's good. Instagram's always that like nervous time when you're like, has it connected properly? Is it going to do what it needs to do? Hello, Facebook. Well, you're live. You're pulling your weight today, Facebook. Instagram should now be live as well. Brilliant. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I am aware that this is, again, a changed time. I'm also aware that my camera's on a bit of a wonk. So I'm just going to try and fix that. I think that's better. So this is at 10 a.m. instead of 1 p.m. So I am aware that the vast majority of you will probably be watching this on the replay, but it doesn't matter because today we are going to be talking about what problems in your business is costing you sales. Now, if you haven't watched the live that I did this time last Monday, I would definitely recommend doing that because we kind of go, it kind of gives you like an overall basis for what we're going to talk about today, okay? Now, if you didn't know, today kicks off our 5 days of deals. It's the first time we've done anything like this, actually. So it's quite exciting because a load of you this morning were like getting the £3.95 planner, which if you're watching on Instagram, I have popped the link in that little red link box. So you'll see that under me, I think, or around me somewhere. And if you're watching on Facebook, I have popped the little link in. But before we get going, maybe what I'll do is I will pop that link in again, just so you have got it. So I'm just going to pop it in the comments for you. So hopefully you should see it if you're watching on Facebook. I think my comments are screwed. So I'm just going to try and open that up in a new tab and see if I can get that working. No matter if not, though, you're still here. You're still watching. So basically what's going on this week is every single day we are going to have a really epic deal for you, but they are only valid until midnight of that day. So for example, the £3.95 digital planner, which is basically a digital version of this bad boy, then that's going to be the offer's going to be live, is what I was meant to say, until midnight tonight, okay? And then as soon as the clock strikes 12, Cinderella style, basically what's going to happen is that deal will be done, dusted. What's happened to my iPad? Come back, iPad. Touch ID. Okay, hang on then. There we go. What's going to happen is that deal is going to be done, dusted. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, will be a different deal. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's the whole premise of pretty well the 5 days of deals. So it's quite a simple, easy thing. There will be coupon codes for each of them. Okay. But today I want to talk about problems within your business, okay? Because we know that when we start work, either on a Monday or on a weekend or like a Wednesday evening, whenever you, being your self-employed wonderfulness that you are, whenever you start your business, you are probably bombarded with, well, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, and I should be doing this, and I should be doing da. Rather than having like an actual plan, as in, right, this is the problem that my business has, my biggest issue. This is what I need to do to solve it. And this is how I'm gonna do it. Okay. So I want to go through 5 problems that I do see a lot, and the way that I'm going to be asking you some like coaching questions and the way that I would solve them. Okay. So problem number 1 is I am disorganized and I'm constantly playing catch up. I'm just going to put disorganized here. And if you're new here, my handwriting, it is terrible. It is, but that's ADHD for you. It makes my handwriting distracted and messy. So how do you know if you have this problem? If you are disorganized and you are constantly playing some kind of catch up. So here's how you find out if this is actually a big problem for you. So your ideas, your tasks, and your plans are scattered everywhere. You've got little bits of notes everywhere. You've got like notepad on this laptop. You've got notes on your iPad. You've got notes on your phone. And basically all of your ideas are just scattered. And they're not even anything more than ideas. They're just kind of like little thoughts and little bits of notes everywhere. Okay. You keep forgetting what you meant to do. This is me. I get so easily distracted. I literally have, I mean, this is going to be like a little behind the scenes, but I literally have a little like Pomodoro timer here. And what it does is that you like put it down. Hang on, let me show you. And it basically will like count down. I use this a lot, mainly because I know I have to be focused on that one task. A little side note here, it's called a Pomodoro timer. If that is you and you are like forgetting what you're meant to be doing, get yourself one of those. They're really good. Another way to spot it is you spend more time deciding on what to do and what to work on rather than actually doing it. Yes, this is me as well. And important sales jobs gets pushed aside for the sake of whatever feels urgent in that particular moment. Okay, so if this is you, if you're thinking, oh well, like I know I should really like figure out my email list, I know I should really figure out my social media, I know I should do XYZ, however there's this new thing that I need to work on, or it feels urgent, then this is definitely you. So now let's talk about why it's holding you back. Okay, why should we be concerned about this? You know, you're probably thinking, yeah, Steph, that sounds great, like being disorganized, woohoo, but like, why is it actually costing me sales? Well, disorganization creates friction before you've even started the work, right? You've probably heard me talk about decision fatigue and the fact that, especially if you are neurospicy, but even if you're not, you have to be very aware that you have a limited amount of decision-making energy every single day, okay? So therefore, if you are waking up and deciding about a dozen things before you've even like had your first brew, then we have a problem here, because you are literally arriving at your work, at your, you know, business depleted, and basically your brain is just like, I've had enough. Okay, so basically disorganization creates the friction. Okay, if you're organized, you know exactly what you want to work on, why, and how to do it. Okay, you miss opportunities because everything becomes last minute. Let me know if any of these are you. Like, just leave me a comment. Just say yes. Just say this sounds like me. Just let me know if this is you. I understand that a lot of you will be watching this on the replay, and that's fine. But if you're here live, then let me know. You know, like there's a very small group of us, so we might as well have a little chat. You know, urgent jobs get done, but important growth jobs get pushed back. So things like emails, content, sales / promotions, listing improvements, reviewing what is working, all those sorts of things, they always tend to get kind of pushed back in favor of like the more shinier things. Okay. And the ironic thing is that those are often the jobs. It's often the unsexy things, to be honest with you, that is the thing you need to do to create future sales. Now, not only that, but you struggle to stay consistent and you keep kind of repeating the same things every single week. So here's a coaching question for you then. And I want you to actually answer this in the comments if you're here live. What sales or marketing job do you keep saying, I'll do that later, or I'll do that next week? Okay. So what sales or marketing job do you keep saying, oh, I'm going to do that later, or I'll do that next week, or I'll do that when I feel like I've got more time? Okay. Let me know in the comments. Okay. Whether there's any jobs that you're just like, yeah, that's just kind of been pushed back to never land. Okay. So if this is you, today's deal is the £3.95 digital planner. All right. Like I said, it's a digital version of this bad boy. Now, the great thing about that is that you will always have this to hand. Now, if you got like the printed version, as lovely as it is, this lasts for 6 months. So the great thing about the £3.95 option, and it's normally £19.99, it's now 80% off at £3.95 for today only until midnight. The beauty about having the downloadable version, which is the £3.95 version, is that you can print it out as many times as you like. You can even use it on your iPad. Like, you can literally use it anywhere that you want to use it. Someone's used it in their Kindle as well, which I know that you can do that now. You can have a Kindle and like a little pen and do all that. So until midnight tonight, that is going to be £3.95. Now, also, when you go on to that like checkout page thing, at the bottom, there is a brand new thing, which I made with my own two hands, and I'm so proud of it. I have created an AI tool that basically plans your week for you. And I mean, like, really plans your week. You give it the energy that you have, you give it like your brain dump, you give it everything. Especially if you're neurospicy like me, that tool is awesome. And I've been using it myself and it's so, so good. And it basically spits out, okay, what do you need to work on ASAP? What are probably going to be like things you don't need to work on, like, you know, the shiny things, and what's actually going to make the difference. That is a limited time offer of £7 on that checkout page as well. So basically for like less than 11 quid, you get all the planning stuff all done and dusted for you. Okay. So if that sounds like you and you're thinking, yeah, I definitely need myself a little bit of that, all of that will be valid until midnight tonight. So if you're watching this and you're like, I've popped the link in the comments on the Facebook group. And if you are watching on Instagram, I have also popped it in that little like red box thing. I can't think, it's like a little link box. I think at the moment it's actually over my face. So if I move that up a little bit, you should be able to see my face. But yeah, it's popped that little link box there. Gary says social media, literally the whole of social media. Yeah, I get it, Gary. It's like social media. I think the reason why people struggle with it is because it's quite predictable. You could spend like 6 hours doing like a cinematic reel and it gets nothing. You spend 5 minutes doing like a quick shot. A quick shot of your desk, and it's like that gets like 10,000 views, and you're thinking, what? What is going on? I get it. I do. Jennifer says revised listings is one thing that I'm thinking I'll do later. Yeah, because I think, Jen, it's like a boring job, right? And it might not be boring. But it kind of is. It's kind of one of those jobs that's not really exciting that you think, yeah, I'll get around to it. I'll do it. But whenever you go to do it, your brain's like, this is boring. I don't want to do it. I get it. I do. The writer Printable Co says, I'd say I'm pretty consistent with marketing work, but after I complete the shop doctor, I realize I have lots of tweaks I still need to keep pushing back. Yes, Rachel. Yes. I get it. I do. It's very, very hard. HO2 says email campaigns. Yes, I get that for sure. Okay, so that's problem number one. It's a problem that you do not want to ignore. Now we're going to talk about, actually let's do it in a different color, because I want to do it in a different color. So why don't we do let's do like a cerise color. So problem number 2 is I never know what to write. Okay, so I'm going to put sales copy in here. Now, sales copy is pretty much any bit of text that is designed to sell something. It can be a product. It can be people joining your email list. It could be follow me on Instagram. It's basically a piece of text that's designed to get the reader to take some kind of action. Okay. So I don't want you to just think about like getting someone to buy, or while that's important, and it is for sure part of sales copy, if you're worried about feeling a little bit salesy and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't have to just be selling a product, okay? So here's how you spot that. You sit staring at a blank description box. Now, side note here, Etsy SEO. Well, actually, Google, let's see if I can fit that in. Google/Etsy SEO now includes descriptions, okay? It's no longer just title and tags and whatever else. Etsy and Google now read your descriptions. So that's why descriptions need not be a side thing that you do as and when you list it. Descriptions are now really important. Like, and this is quite a recent thing, really, really important. So if you don't know what to say and you're staring at a blank description box and you're thinking, okay, how do I describe this? We need to not be doing that. We need to know exactly what we want to say. Now, another way that I tend to spot this is that all of your posts, and by the way, sales copy is totally roping in social media posts as well. So if you're staring at a blank social media caption box or Canva and you're thinking, what do I need to do, like right here? Like, what are the words I need to write? This also applies to you as well. All of your descriptions, all of your posts sound repetitive or vague. Now this, And I want to see a show of hands here, because we're all being honest here. This is where you say to Chat GPT. My God, what did I say? Chat GPT. I'm just going to call it chat now. That is where you go to chat or Claude or whatever, and you go, hey, can you write me a description for this product? Okay. We don't want to be doing that, because it's not going to give you the best description that is actually going to encompass your target market. It's going to encompass like the sales psychology. I'm going to have a little sip of my tea, because I swear to you, I am tongue-tied today. It's not going to get you the sales psychology part of it. It's not going to understand ultimately you, your brand, your target market, your product, and your business as a whole. So what happens? Everyone ends up sounding exactly the bloody same. It drives me nuts as a coach, because I see it. I see it on social media all the time, and I'm like, ChatGPT wrote that. ChatGPT wrote that. And if I can tell, your customers can tell as well. So it's definitely a thing. The next thing is you avoid sending emails or even starting your email list because you do not know what to say. If that is you, let me know. Or you create content and it does all right, but it doesn't lead people towards buying or towards clicking on your link. So now let's talk about why. Why should we give two hoots about sales copy and about knowing what to write? People cannot buy what they don't understand. And I'm going to say that again, because in sales psychology, that is important, right? People cannot buy what they don't understand. And I'm actually going to add something else onto that as well, or what they have questions about. Okay. If there's any unanswered questions, if there's any part of them that makes them go, but what about this? Or how would it be like this? Or what would it look like with this? Or da-da-da-da. If there's any part of them that is not understanding, or they have questions, or they're unsure, they are not going to buy. And as you know, they could message you, but people don't. Let's be honest. Okay. Now, if buyers do not understand why they need your product, and I'm going to be blunt here now, is that there are probably every single or most, I say probably 85% of all niches on, like, in the handmade sphere. That's on Etsy, your own website, Google, not on the high street, Amazon Handmade, like we're talking the lot. Probably 85% of all niches are now what people would call saturated ones. If you are not doing a good enough job of basically telling people, hey, this is why, like, this is what makes me different, this is my USP, this is what makes me unique, we have an issue. Okay, because yeah, there's probably another brand out there that does similar to what you do. Why should they buy yours? And by the way, it shouldn't be price. Like, let's just say that it shouldn't be because I'm cheaper, because you will be at a race to the bottom if you do that. Okay. Your customer is probably wondering, is this for me? Why is it worth the price? Why do I choose this one over that one I've seen? What makes it different? And why should I buy? Now, a side note here, if you get favorites, even just one or two, but no sales, that is a telltale sign that people are like shopping around. They've seen other products from other brands, from other shops, and they've stuck it in a list somewhere. Okay, that's a sure sign, if you're getting favorites but no views, that more than likely your sales copy or something about your listing is not doing a good enough job at convincing them, yes, I need to buy this now, and these are the reasons. Does that make sense, right? So a coaching question for you, and I love this because, you know, you've got your listing, right? And you have your photo here, you have your title here, some other little bitty bits here. You have like a little like description, expand here box there, and then you've got some other little bits down here, right? If I turn around to you and I said, okay, we're going to get rid of your photo, would your words still make somebody understand why they should want the product? So if we were to delete your photos from your listing, would your words still be making sense and help someone understand why they should want the product? Let me know. Let's have a little look. I've not used any form of AI to write text, but I do sometimes struggle with what to write. Yeah, I get it. I do. So, quick win here. Stop asking, what shall I write? And instead ask, What does my customer need to understand before they feel ready to buy? Okay. So let's talk about what's coming tomorrow. Okay. Because tomorrow we have 53% off my copy course, my writing course, basically the thing that's going to help you. It's called What to Actually Write So That It Sells. It sells, not sales. It sells. What to actually write so that it sells. Okay. That's the title of the course. It does what it says on the tin. And that's going to be tomorrow's deal at 53% off. Okay. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that, because if you're looking at all this and you're thinking that's a problem for me, you need to get yourself on that course. So now what color shall we have? Let's have a no, let's not have a blue. We've already had a blue. Let's have a orangey. No, that's, there you go. Orange. Okay. So problem number 3 is I am completely relying on social media to drive me traffic. AKA, if I turn around to you and I said, how do you market your business? Your first thought is social media. And that is an issue, okay? If nearly all of your marketing depends on Instagram or Facebook, we have an issue. If you do not have a reliable way to contact interested buyers or interested people directly, we have an issue. When your reach drops on Instagram, let's say you've had a week or two of either not posting, or your posts have just not really hit, or maybe we are in the summer right now, no one's on their phones, everyone's outside doing stuff, they're on holiday, whatever, and your reach has dropped, what happens is your sales go with it. Okay, so we have an issue then as well. Or you keep trying to find new people. You're on this constant hamster wheel of new people, rather than nurturing the ones you already have, like the people that have bought from you before, the people that have shown interest in you before. You're constantly on this hamster wheel of finding new. So let's talk about why. Why is this an issue? You might be thinking, well, Steph, social media is fine. My reach hardly ever drops. What are you on about? The social media itself isn't actually the issue here, okay? The problem is when it becomes the only way that you market your business, all right? You do not control, at the end of the day, you do not control who sees your content, all right? Someone can discover you, love your product, and then simply never see you again. Followers can miss posts, they can forget about you. And when reach drops, everything feels so much harder, doesn't it? It just feels like an uphill slog, and you're like, what is going on? What do I need to do? There's this element of panic around it, right? You're constantly trying to find probably another 100 people, 100 eyeballs to get to your shop that day, rather than keeping hold of the people that are already interested. And at the end of the day, social media, it's rented land, okay? You do not own the eyeballs that come through social media, okay? So coaching question for you is that if Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, whatever, disappeared tomorrow, how many of the people following your business on those platforms could you actually contact and could you actually connect with? I want you to answer this honestly in the chat now, okay? If Instagram or Facebook or TikTok disappeared tomorrow, how many of the people that follow you could you actually connect with and actually contact and keep that relationship open with, okay? So Wednesday, we have 53% off building your email list. Specifically for handmade business owners, you do not need a website. You do not need any expensive equipment. You need nothing, okay? I'm literally going to show you how to do it for 53% off. I'm literally going to show you how to start your email list, because if you are relying on social media and all of this sounds like we have an issue. Okay, let me just catch up on comments really quickly. Do they favorite to see if they get a discount? Sometimes, but to be honest with you, I shop on Etsy a lot. And I'd probably say about 30% of the time will I get a discount if I favorite it. I don't think people who are new to Etsy know about it. I also think people don't really favorite things basically, I think they do it really to create and curate a list. I want you to think less of they're doing it to get a discount and more of they're doing it to create a little Pinterest board pretty well inside of Etsy. Okay. If someone has like been on Etsy for a long time, like years and years and years, yeah, they might favorite it and they might choose to get a discount, but also I don't think that's why they do it, because if they were to add it to their cart, there's actually more people that do the add to cart offers rather than the favorite offers, if that makes sense. I get views and favorites, but still dire sales. Yes. Jennifer says none. I think I have the opposite problem. I have 0% traffic from social media. Yes, for sure. So let me just get back to my notes really, really quickly. So that's problem number 3. If you're relying on social media or you hate it, you're like, social media bloody sucks and it's driving me up the wall and I cannot stand it and I do not want to be on it. How do I market my business without being on it? The answer is email list, okay? And the answer is not doing it on rented land. I do both, but I gotta tell you, if I was to give one of those up, it would be social media in a heartbeat. I would never give up my email list. That is gold to me, okay? That is gold. Social media, while brilliant and it's creative and it's experimental and it's fun and I still love it, I would give that up in a heartbeat. And if any one of you was saying to me, Steph, I don't get social media, it drives me up the wall, blah, 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 but I still need to market my business. Or maybe you might be thinking, I'm quite new, what do I need to do first to market my business? I'd say email list for sure. Right, let's pick a color. What color should we have? Let's do green. So problem number 4, and I know there's I think let me just find the comment. The writer printable code, this is for you. People visit my shop but they don't buy, and I got no idea why. Not a dicky bird. I do not know why they do it. Here's how you spot it. You're getting views, clicks, favorites, or either one of those things without enough sales. You might be getting like the odd 1 or 2, but you're just not getting sales. You keep changing random parts of your listings, hoping that one of those things is going to be the thing that clicks, or you are unsure whether the issue is your photos, your prices, descriptions, trust. Basically, you got no idea. You have no idea what's going on there, okay? Or you are too close to your shop to see what buyers see. You know what they say, like a fresh pair of eyes makes all the difference. I completely agree with that. Recently we've been like doing the garden. I've been trying to spend less time online and more time outside, and basically my ADHD, what that's resulted in is me unearthing the entire garden and being like, right, we need to move this plant over there, we need to dig that up, we need to do that, da, 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 da. And it wasn't until my mum came round when she was like, oh, why don't you put that there and do that there? And I just was like, that would have been easier. So it's a bit like that, where you're in a project, you're in your business, and you get a little bit like number blind, listing blind, photo blind, and you end up just being like, oh my God, it's like someone just needs to look at this and tell me what on earth I am doing wrong here. So let's talk about why. So it's pretty obvious with this one, but let's just talk about it anyway. Traffic and conversions, okay? Traffic and conversion are 2 different problems and they need 2 different solutions, okay? Everyone always says to me, I need more traffic, I need more traffic, I need more traffic. Actually, the vast majority of the time you need a better conversion rate before you start driving traffic to a shop that's not really converting people very well, aka you're getting views and favorites, but you're not getting the sales, okay? So if you're getting no visitors, and the way I like to look at this is that if you're getting less than 100 views or visits a week, you probably do have a traffic issue, as well as if you're getting 100 or more every single week and you're not getting any sales, we have a conversion problem, okay? And like I said, more traffic will not automatically fix a shop that's not converting. Okay, so that's one thing I do want to say. More traffic will not fix an Etsy shop that is not converting. So think about a like physical store. All right, let's say this is like a physical store. Let's say they sell candles, right? They sell candles. They're like, we sell natural soy wax candles and okay. 100 people walk into that store. Nobody buys. 100 people walk in. You literally have 100 people step foot, okay, into that shop. No one buys. What would your first thought be? Your first thought is not going to be, quick, get another 100,000 people in here or another 100 people in here. Like, we need to get more people in the door. That would not be your first thought. If you are the shop owner, literally stood here watching this unfold, your first thought is not going to be, I need to get more people in the door, okay? Your first thought is going to be, right, something's not right here. They're coming in, they're wandering around, or maybe they're not even doing that, and then they're leaving again. What is going on? That is how I want you to see your own website, your Etsy shop. Obviously, I coach for both, so I know both very, very well. I know how to sell on your own website. I know how to sell on Etsy. Buyers may not immediately understand pretty well your products, your brand, or its value to them, all right? Missing information can create doubt, and random tweaking wastes time because you are just guessing. Okay, so coaching question, where do you think the problem is actually happening for you? Are people not clicking? Are they clicking but not buying? Are they favoriting but they're hesitating? Or are some products selling while others aren't? Okay, so you need to look at the journey here. So let me just write that out. So you get the journey, which is what I teach all the time, which is click, understand. I'll do it under here. Trust and then buy. So trust and then buy. This is the journey that your customers take when they come into your shop. Okay. So we need to find the like weakest bit and we pretty much need to fix it. Okay. Because if any one of these things dies, sales die too. Okay. So it might be, your traffic is dead, in which case you're not going to get sales. It could be people don't understand why they should buy it. That's going to kill your sales. It could be people do not trust your shop. That's going to kill sales. So pretty well, if anything in this is dead, your sales are going to die too. Okay. So on Thursday, we have an epic deal for you. 57% off of shop critiques, okay, with me. Why can't I spell that? Shop critiques. Hopefully the iPad will figure that out. No, it's not. Okay, anyway, 57% off of shop critiques with me. They only have 10 spaces left, okay? So there's only 10 of these available, 57% off. That is going to be Thursday's deal. Basically, I spend 30 minutes to 40 recording a video, walking through your shop and me having a look at each one of these things and saying, hey, if I was you, I would give this a go. I would give that a go, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not going to be like in depth, all right, now you need to go into this and do that. It won't be like an in-depth, but it will give you an idea of what on earth is going on within your shop. Okay. Let me just catch up on comments. Traffic is an issue for me. Yes. About 10 visits a day, but a 30% conversion rate. That's probably, Gary, what's going to happen there is that as you get more traffic, that conversion rate will drop naturally because it always does. So what will happen is that as you get more traffic, your conversion rate will drop and like settle down. But that's fine because 30% is absolutely nutso. So we're expecting that to sit around the 1 to 5% mark. So yeah, well done for that though. That sounds awesome. All right, so let's do, what color should we do? This like weird, like mustardy sort of weird color. So let's do problem number 5. I'm hoping that my Xmas deals / my Black Friday will somehow just figure itself out, okay? You know that Q4 is important, but at the moment, you don't have a proper plan. AKA, you know you want to run some kind of offer, you know you want to make more sales around Christmas time, November, Black Friday, the time when every person is like doing some kind of deal. You know you want to be a part of that, but you have no plan as to how to do it the right way. Especially, you know, let's think about November, right? There are deals everywhere. Like Amazon's doing them, eBay's doing them, Walmart's doing them, Hobbycraft are doing them, Asda's doing them, everyone's doing them. Everyone's doing some kind of offer. And you know that you want to be a part of it, and you want to almost have your own like Black Friday, Christmas product launch, okay? Because that's what you call it. It is a launch of this particular product or gift set or something. And you're driving more eyeballs and you're bringing more attention to it. That's basically what a launch is, okay? You know you want to do it, but you're like, I don't know the process. I don't know how to do this the right way, okay? You also know you have an issue with this if all of your promotions are ideas in your head, but they don't get much further than that. Maybe you might do a couple of like social media posts, a couple of stories saying 50% off on my shop or 20% off or whatever between this day and that date, but you don't do much else. That's pretty much the extent of it. You might put sell on Etsy and be like, right, done, dusted, but that's as far as you get, okay? You also know you have this issue if Black Friday and Christmas turn into one last minute sales scramble, okay? And I've done this myself before. And it's brutal because you're like rushing around trying to figure out Black Friday and November sales and October sales and Christmas sales and January sales even. And then you get into it and you're like, I don't know. I don't have any strategic decisions made here. I'm just shooting for the sky and hoping that something's going to like materialize. Okay. So why is this an issue? Why? Okay. Christmas feels ages away until it suddenly isn't. We are in September next week. For us down here, the kids go back to school next week. September is next week. That is crazy. Like a week tomorrow, it will be the 1st. And already the summer's done. It's over. It's finished. We're now well and truly into like autumn, Christmassy, all that prep. Okay. Now I've spoken a lot about Christmas prep over the past like 4 or 5 weeks or so. So I'm not going to talk about any more of that because I've exhausted that. However, there's a lot that you need to think about when it comes to doing like your Black Friday sales and your Christmas sales and your January sales and all that good stuff. Okay. You don't want to like do last minute scramblies. Okay. This is especially important if you're wanting to boost sales. Okay. You doing a product launch is the fastest, easiest way I would suggest if you're like, I need to make an extra £500, £1,000, £10,000, £100. I need to make some extra money fast. This would be how I would do it. Okay. Is doing a product launch within your business. All right. So coaching question for you. If Christmas suddenly became 4 weeks earlier, or Black Friday became 4 weeks earlier, would you know exactly what your promo, what your sale, what your offer, what your product launch would look like? Okay. Would you know? Okay. Would you know what you need to do? Okay. Now, on Friday, we have 54% off my launch course, my Christmas and Black Friday launch playbook course. Okay. You might not have seen that one before, but it's there, it's coming, and that's going to be 54% off. Me literally showing you how to do it the right way. And the best part about it is that it's a repeatable thing. You can do it for Mother's Day. You can do it for summer. You can do it for any time. Okay. The reason why we call it the Christmas and Black Friday launch playbook is because that's the biggest time when people like decide to do some kind of offer. Okay. So that is coming on Friday. Let me just catch up on comments real quick. No, we're all good. Okay. I get views if I have products on Etsy ads, but otherwise I don't get views unless I post it on all kinds of Facebook pages. Anita, that is an issue because you do not want to be, and I just want to say this like out loud, you do not want to be running Etsy ads unless you are already getting sales on that particular listing. Okay. By the way, it needs to be at least $1 or £1 per day per listing. Basically, Etsy ads are fuel on the fire. It's not how you start the fire in the first place. Okay. So Anita, if I were you, I would be looking at the traffic issue within that. Okay. So there is an issue there. And you're saying to me, I don't get views unless I post it on all kinds of Facebook pages and groups and stuff. That means that you're not driving enough consistent traffic to your shop. If I was you, I would be keeping an eye out for Wednesday, the 53% off the email course, because that's going to be an easier way to do this, I think, but have a little look. Okay, so what I want you to do now, I'm going to zoom back out again, or try to. What I want you to do now is I want you to tell me in the comments, give me like 1 if it's problem number 1, 2 if it's number 2, 3 if it's 3, 4 if it's 4, and 5 if it's 5. I want you to actually like tell me what problem number you think you have. And you could just put all. You could just be like, I've got all those problems, Steph. Go figure. Like, you could just literally say, I've got all of them. Now, problem number 1 is, let me just scroll back up in my notes so I know, because I can't read my handwriting. Problem number 1 is I am disorganized and I'm constantly playing catch up. I don't know what I'm working on. I don't know why I'm working on it. All that stuff. That is today's deal. And today's deal is a £3.95, a digital version of this bad boy. And that's until midnight tonight. Problem number 2, I never know what to write. Sales copy, 'tis eludes me. I have no idea. That's problem number 2. Problem number 3 is I'm relying completely on social media and I do not like it. That is problem number 3. Problem number 4, people visit my shop but they don't buy, and I ain't got a foggiest idea as to why. That's problem number 4. And problem number 5, I'm hoping that somehow Black Friday and Christmas will work itself out and I'll get more orders at that time of year. I don't have any idea how to do a product launch though. How I do that. So let me know, okay? Let me know exactly what problem you think that you have. Gary's like, bingo, full house. Get you. I get you. Pompey H says 3. Yes. Let me know. Is it problem number 1, 2, 3, or 4? We've got a 4 by Rachel. Yes. My sales were pretty good on Etsy, but they suddenly dropped. Caroline, I would look at what has changed. I'd look at what you change and what has changed. Okay. If you go to my podcast, every sort of 4 to 6 weeks, I do an episode basically rounding up all the important changes that Etsy has made. Might be worthwhile you digging into like the most recent one of that. I can't remember when it was, but you'll see it because it'll be like changes, Etsy changes, all that kind of stuff. So it might be worthwhile digging into that. But every 4 to 6 weeks, I basically go, this is the changes that Etsy has made. This is why they've changed it. This is how it's going to affect you. This is what to do. So that sounds actually like the one for you. Also bear in mind, guys, if you're changing titles, tags, descriptions, anything like that, your algorithm resets itself. So then you have to wait pretty well 30 to like 90 days before it indexes you where you're going to end up sat. Okay, so obviously your listing will be shown up straight away, but Etsy and algorithms in general, really, they need to kind of see how people interact with that particular listing before they're going to put you where you need to be sat, if that makes sense. Jennifer says, issues on all 5. Planning tends to be the best out of all, but life happens and some days plans change. I get that 100%. And Knits and Crochet says all of them. Yes, for sure. So I would love for you guys to keep an eye out for our 5 days of deals, because truly everything I've gone through today, there is a fix for. Not only that, the fix is going to be in our 5 days of deals. So if you're problem number 1, you need to get your butt over. I've popped the link on Facebook. If you use the code PLANNER, I've popped the link on Instagram as well. I will pin that link though. So I'll pin it and then you've got it then at the bottom. this is the digital version of this is £3.95 today only until midnight tonight. If you use the code planner, you can get that, saving 80% off. And also at the bottom, there is a £7 little AI tool, and it's so cool. Basically plans your week for you. So I'd highly recommend grabbing that. Because yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things that if you love planners, but also you kind of want a little tool just to quickly like tell you what you need to do and when, that's a really good tool to grab. And it's £7. It's not going to be £7 for long though, because a lot of you have grabbed it, and I'm like, I need to increase my credits. So, all right, and my lovelies, I really, really hope that you have enjoyed this, and I hope that it has been helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching me, and I will